welcome everybody to this week's Warriors Den. In fact, it's the second Warriors Den of this week. We were in Seattle this past weekend at PAX, and we actually got to meet some of you there. So shout out to everybody who came to that panel. It was a ton of fun for us. It's the first time we've gotten to do one of those with the community live in front of us. So I hope people enjoyed it. Let us know what you think, because I know we'd like to do more of them. And if it's something you like, we'll put an effort in to do more of those types of things. And in fact, because that was just on Monday, today's show, we're going to re-roll the Monday show for people who didn't see it, because it wasn't broadcast on this channel. It was hosted on this channel, but when it's hosted, you don't get a notification. So I'm sure a bunch of you missed it. So we're going to play it today. I'm going to do just a very quick snippet of news and discussion, and we're going to go to that. But thank you very much again to everybody who came to that show and everybody who watched. It was on twitch.tv/PAX2, so I didn't know what to expect, and a good number of you still showed up. So thank you to the community there. Just a quick news. Today, our patch 1.13 was released. It is live right now. And on the show you're about to see, we go through the patch notes. If you want to see them in full detail yourself, go to forhonorgame.com/patch notes and you will see them. That is that. Yes, I know that one of the biggest things, it is the biggest thing in that patch and the biggest source of discussion since we talked. Max having a laugh, sorry. Good Lord. Yes, the Warlord nerf. The Warlord nerf is a big discussion, and we see that. And I know that you want to talk about that. So obviously, we're not doing the full show today with Ramon and everything. He'll be back on next week. But what I wanted you to know was, apart from seeing all your comments, it's now live. Play with it. Give us more direct feedback on what you think. And even better, we're doing our 3-day community workshop right now. We're in day 2 of that. So we have a number of our top competitive players here in the studio. They're testing out Season 4 heroes, but in addition to that, they're testing out some of the defensive meta changes. But importantly, they're basically spending 3 days with our fight team, giving them all sorts of feedback, wide-ranging feedback. And the very first discussion when they got here yesterday was the Warlord and the changes to the Warlord and their thoughts on the changes to the Warlord, which are very much similar to everyone else's thoughts on the changes to the Warlord. So they're discussing that. They're having a dialogue about that right now. I don't have anything more to tell you, but I will tell you that it's definitely not an issue we're ignoring. We're talking about it actively with them. They're representing a lot of your opinions and a lot of the top competitive players' opinions of that. So please don't feel like you're not being heard. We know your opinions on the Warlord. So that's that. Time snap, I know, is another big discussion. And again, we're talking with those folks about that, and in fact, they're getting to test out a few things that the team has been working on in regards to time snap. When we first did it, on a few shows now, Roman has mentioned just disabling it was not the end of the story. We do have some improvements we want to make to compensate for any of the inconsistencies that you're seeing out there when you're playing. And I want to give a big shout out to Amej. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. He made a cool video just yesterday, kind of detailing frame by frame what he's seeing and what a lot of you players are seeing when you're playing the game since the removal of time snap. I sent that on to the fight team, but that I wanted to let you know that's another thing that at this workshop the players are actually getting to go sit at the desks, try out some different things to see what can be done to compensate for and make some improvements on that. Another big topic, which I know has been discussed for a while as well, is Centurion. And in fact, that is being worked on by the fight team right now. I can't give you an ETA because I don't know all of our production timelines, but the Centurion is being looked at. And again, we have the luxury of these guys being here so we can have them take a look too and do a bit of a gut check, like, okay, here's what we're thinking, what do you think? And they can give their feedback. So again, that's another thing going on right here at Ubisoft Montreal. And then one last thing on the fight side, because I know this comes up quite a bit. We're putting out all these new characters. They have a lot of cool, different kits to them, and they're doing a lot of different things. So people are asking, well, what about the original characters? And we've said before, revamps of those characters are underway already. And again, those guys have gotten to see them. These are a little longer out. I think then you'll see the Centurion changes. But they're happening now. And when we say revamps, we're talking perhaps adding additional moves, which perhaps means additional mocap or animations. Those things just take a lot of time. So those are all underway. I wanted you to know that. We're hearing everything you're talking about. So that is it for here right now. And we're going to go to our PAX Seattle show that we did on Monday. And Max ruined the joke we were going to do. We were going to do the roundabout meme to transition to that. But that's what happens when you do a live show, I guess. But that is it for me. We will be back next week with another live show here from Montreal. And you're not going to want to miss that one, actually. That should be a pretty cool one with some new stuff to show. You'll see on the show we're about to roll here a tiny tease of what you'll learn more about next week on the show. So that's an exciting one. So we'll see you next week here on the Warriors Den at noon on Thursday, the 14th of September. Thank you, everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to PAX. Please take your seats and silence all cell phones. Our program begins now.
So groovy.
What's up, everybody? This is the Warriors Den live. Thank you for attending our very first ever live Warriors Den.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you familiar with the show that we do every week? Yeah.
Okay.
So just in case, I know people at PAX like to just go to panels to sit down sometimes, so I figured we should introduce ourselves, maybe give a little more context for who we are. This is going to be more of a fun show than our usual one, where we're very sticking to the facts and giving you information. We're still going to do that, but we want to have more fun with you as well. So don't expect like minutia conversations like, Roman, why did you change that by 100 milliseconds and then speak on that for a half an hour? We're not going to do that. But hopefully you'll have fun. Hopefully everyone watching will have fun. And there is some cool stuff coming up in this show. So I'm Eric Pope. I'm the community developer on For Honor. I work in Ubisoft Montreal on the dev team with these fine folks. And it is my job to produce this show, plan the show out every week. And I'm kind of the conduit between you and these folks and everyone else on the dev team and back and forth. So I try to get as much information up to them from you and try to communicate back to you when they tell me their answers.
In proper English.
In proper English, as best I can manage.
Hi everybody, I'm Bio Jade Adam Granger, just Bio is easier, and I'm a team lead designer on For Honor.
Hi everybody, I'm Roman Campersorella and I'm the creative director.
And I'm Damien Kiken, the game director on For Honor.
So what does a game director do, by the way?
Nothing.
Mostly being
he
my
shows
boss.
up every week.
Okay.
Yeah. I look at what Bio does and I say
And
yes
he says
or no.
it's wrong.
Yeah. And I love it each time, so I have nothing to do. It's pretty hard to explain, but I'm mostly focused on. Roman is more focused on the gameplay, so on the fighters balancing, things like that, and I'm more focused on the rest. So everything linked to online, to progression, to steel. You love steel. To yeah, game modes as well. We do both game modes. We work on maps. We work on basically we look at what the team is producing every day.
So previously, the two of you were both game directors. That's why you're talking about this split. But now you fairly recently moved to creative director. So you're still doing your game director duties, but also creative director duties. Is that correct?
Yeah, indeed. So Damien is taking most of the game directions elements now. So I get to oversee art, audio, realization, not only anymore gameplay, and story and narrative context and those kind of stuff. But yes, Damien is in charge mainly of everything that starts when the games end, and everything that is reward, menu, customization, all of that is the guy.
It's me.
It's him. And Bio.
Only me. No team behind.
Yes,
Yeah,
he's alone.
and
He's
It's only
doing
the
that
4
alone.
of us working on the game. Very
Yeah,
small
you should
team.
see his drawings, and his character drawings is the best. It's just
Oh, I haven't seen those.
magnificent concept arts.
I'm
Oh,
so
I wish I
bad.
knew that was a thing. I would have
So
brought
bad
them for
at
this
drawing.
panel. Pia, what does it mean? What do you do on your specific team?
Well, I have a team of a few game designers. We're actually 4 designers on the team, and the whole designers of For Honor are divided in little groups. We focus on different areas of the game, and basically make sure that everything related to the progression of the player is great. So XP, steal, yes, everybody's favorite, but also things like how the rewards work, whenever you are not in a game, how do you go forward, and the faction war. So all of the designers in my team have different specialties, and I make sure that everything makes sense, and I'm a conduit between Damien and Roman and the team.
Cool. Can you all hear us okay in the room? I'm seeing on
Despite our French accents.
I'm seeing on Twitch that we're a bit quiet on Twitch. They're saying in the chat, so I don't know if there's a boost you can do, a bass boost button. Remember the Walkman?
Bass
used to have
boost?
yeah, I had a Walkman where you could press bass boost, which I always
Oh,
used, and it
very
sounded terrible.
gangster, very
Sounded
gangster.
it was you know me, very gangster.
Yep.
Cool. So those are intros. Like I mentioned, it's going to be a little more fun today, but we do have some cool stuff to talk about. This Thursday is our next patch, patch 1.13. Internally, we call this TU2 when we do a season, the title update 2. So traditionally, the second title update is actually the first patch of the season. And the first patch of the season, because of the way submissions work and everything, is usually mostly bug fixes. It's nothing that we saw as a reaction since the season launched that we fixed. It was stuff we already fixed pretty much before the season closed down, right? Before the season launched, right?
Yeah.
So we'll get into the notes for that. There's not a ton, and it is mostly bug fixes, but there is something very interesting there that we'll get into. One particular topic that you may like or you may hate, and we'll find out. Also happening this week, there is an event order.
Yes. Yeah. There is an event order
That's
this
something
week.
that your team handles.
This is our team, yeah. We take care of all the orders as well. I forgot them.
Shout out to Mariana.
Shout out to Mariana that takes care of all the orders and the event orders now. So yeah, we have something. It's execution and brawl. So it's a 2,000 steel reward like usually, and everybody that's going to participate will get that reward for the weekend.
And it's, doing executions within brawl matches. I don't have the exact dates, but it's basically this weekend.
Yeah, and it's the name is Brawling Execution.
I like that. We're getting better with our names for our events. I definitely think they're getting better and better. Cool. And if you didn't know, last week we started a promotion on champion status. It is still going on through Thursday. It's 50% off right now. All levels of champion status. It's a really, really good deal if you play a lot of For Honor for advancing your character. You get XP boosts and all that. So highly recommended. And we have finally, last week and this week, we have returned to weekly content releases.
Yeah.
We promised it would happen, and we're back. So I actually have a video. Let's see if I can get it to play on this terribly old laptop that Ubisoft gave me.
So you're doing all the jobs today.
I'm doing all the jobs. Max is not here. So let's get into it.
Look at that.
Oh, it's the star one. I love it.
Good night, Moon.
I really like the star one. I like the ornament a lot.
Right?
We love drums.
Take it.
new elite outfits. Those are 7,000 steel each. You don't need to keep my computer up there for this next part, so we can go back to the PAX logo. Yeah, so those are out on Thursday, and that is, I like the way that they're grouped by faction.
The night one is amazing. I
Yeah.
really like it. Since it's been done on the team, I've been wearing that one only for PlayStation. It's so great.
Yeah, it's super good looking.
Ornament looks like a constellation. I really love it.
Cool, so let's roll into those patch notes that I mentioned, and they really are a bunch of bug fixes, but Rahman gets to kind of kick us off with something meaty at the top.
So yes, in this patch, there are some slight changes on the Warlord. So first, full block stance, so that's true for all the characters with full block stance, so Warlord and Conqueror. No, you cannot counter guard break anymore while using the full block stance. So now it's really a commitment to defense, but if the guy is trying to counter guard break you, you can't get out of it and counter it.
Does it affect the Valkyrie full block stance also?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's for all
It
characters.
should be on all characters that have a full block stance. So, Warlord specific, counter slash. Counter slash damage has been increased to 30. Used to be 25. That's one of the only buff this week for the Conqueror, for the Warlord. Because we wanted to give more incentive to use the full block stance for the Warlord. Currently, you're better out of much too soon, much too often. You're better out using a parry instead of the full block stance, so that's a slight buff of that move. For the dodge, we've increased all of his dodge recoveries. So dodge right and left recovery has been increased by 200 milliseconds. Dodge forward has been increased by 100 milliseconds. Dodge forward into headbutt timing delayed to 300 milliseconds. So you used to be able to go into headbutt from 100 to 200 milliseconds. Now you have a slightly bigger delay on that. Basically, the Warlord dodge recoveries were too short for the character. So that's a big nerf of the Warlord. We see how it plays, but that's something really big coming. Shield counter stamina drain also has been reworked a little bit. The drain has been reduced from 40 stamina to 20 stamina. But now, shield counter stops stamina regeneration from 1.8 seconds. So it's not anymore a guarantee of putting the enemy out of stamina, but it's still impacting a lot his stamina. And also now the shield counter can be followed up by an heavy attack instead of a counter slash, and it's an heavy attack that you can chain or feint, etc. So it allows you to create more opportunities. We've reworked a little bit his basic attacks. Side light damage has been decreased to 12, used to be 15. Top light damage, because it's slightly slower, that attack, it has been increased to 17. Top heavy attack damage has been decreased to 25, and side heavy attack damage has been decreased to 30. So slight nerf on his damage. That's for the default attack. The finishers has been increased. So the side light finisher is now 15, the top light finisher is now 20, and the side heavy finisher damage has been increased to 35. So again, that's to give more incentive if you manage to successfully land a chain with the character. You get a little bit more damage and a little bit less if you're only harassing with basic attack. So that's the idea of the changes on the Warlord. Slight nerf in terms of damage, slight nerf of his dodge, and big nerf of the full block stance.
Any Warlords in the room? Probably the people that are just leaving right now. Like, I'm out of here.
I'd like to know who is from which faction.
Yeah,
We
actually.
didn't ask
Yeah, that's a good
them.
call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who is knight in the room? Ah,
Quite some.
Ah,
nerf.
but
quite samurai.
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 Wow.
Not much.
Wow.
Not
Okay.
Not many
many.
samurai.
Vikings?
And Vikings.
Yes.
Vikings, yeah.
I think it was the Knights.
So it's knights,
Knights
then
have the
Vikings, then
edge.
samurai, which
Knights,
is pretty.
It's not what's in the game
It's
right
not
now.
what is in the world.
No.
No.
In the
It's
world,
not
we
usual.
have way more samurais.
Yeah.
Second are knights, and Vikings are turning behind more and more. We are losing members every week.
So PAX audience is knight.
Yeah,
Interesting.
people are moving to the knight faction more and more, actually.
I
When you
actually
see the
buy
numbers.
that. I would buy that the PAX audience is Knights because people here are very polite and they believe like they'll stand in lines diligently. They don't break the rules. So I believe that checks out to me.
You think the
Okay.
knight faction is the most polite?
I do.
Have you seen their memes?
Well,
Yeah, you did.
well, okay. Maybe I have to think this theory through some more. Yes, so if there are any warlords,
Sorry
I
for
hope
you
you're not
guys.
grieving too heavily right now. I know they are on the chat that I'm watching right now. Well, don't worry about it, guys.
Well, I'm not.
I'm not either. But that's not all. We have a few other little changes in this patch if you want to continue.
Yes, but that was the core of the
Right.
modification, and that patch was on the Warlord. Then there are some bug fixes for the Centurion. Quick throw can only be landed on the target you hit with a light attack, so you can't with the light attack and then use the quick throw. Some unlock tech fixes on the Highlander, and also a bug fix on the Valkyrie, where an entity that has been guard broken by the Valkyrie will now be immune to guard break. So any character, when you guard break him, then is immune for a certain period of time to guard break, and that was not true with the Valkyrie. And that's mostly it for the characters this week. Then there is some bug fix on Dominion, quick fix also on the Sanctuary Bridge, where there were collisions all, and some fixes for dual tournaments.
Yeah, the first updates on dual tournaments. So it came out last week. If you want to be ranked, so we now are taking in account Alt F4 as an abandon, which was a highly requested one. We had some issues on the rewards for some of the female heroes where the thumbnails were showing up. This is fixed. And we fixed also some achievements. So Evening Wear, Swag Up, You're So Vain, that weren't unlocking properly. Voilà. I made a sentence with achievement names. Interesting. And we did some things on PC regarding AFK that wasn't properly working sometimes. So in some occasions, we know it's highly requested, so we also fixed that.
Cool.
Those are the highlights.
Yep.
Then we have other fixes, of course, that you will be able
little
to
bug
see
fixes.
online.
You'll see the full things on the page when we publish it. But as we mentioned at the top of the show, we did want to make this more fun for you and for us. If we have our hardcore guys in the Twitch chat, you're going to get less of the deep informative stuff. So we're going to have fun, and hopefully you'll have fun watching us having fun.
But stay till the end, because there's a little
Yes,
surprise.
we do have a
There's
surprise at
a
the end,
great
so
surprise.
stick around. So what I mean by this is we want to include the folks here in the room. If there's a way we can figure out to incorporate chat, I'll see what I can do. But we have a bunch of trivia about the game, and we kind of wanted to test you on how well you know For Honor. It's ranging from easy, medium, to hard questions. And the thought was if you get it right, we'll reward you. So easy questions, you'll get a combat pack, which is 1 week of champion status and 2 scavenger crates? 3
I'm
crates?
not sure. I don't know if it's 1, 2, or
What?
3.
I don't
Yep.
remember.
It's one of those.
If you answer a medium question correctly, you get 2 combat packs, and they can stack. And then if you answer hard questions, I think we're actually going to do this thing called a war pack, which we've never used before, but it's a month of champion status.
Shit.
So we'll
And
see.
5 crates.
Yes, a lot of, yes,
yeah.
exactly. So the hard ones, some of them are a bit tough, but it doesn't mean you have to be the top best players at this. There's a lot of stuff about the world and the campaign and all that. So let's get into it. I figured between the 4 of us, we could kind of just pick and choose. And if you think you have the answer, just shoot your hand up, and I'll call on whoever I see first raises their hand. Everyone cool with that? You good with doing trivia? Good. I know PAX is always down for fun. So I'll kick us off. Oh, this one's even too easy. I won't even do that one. Okay.
Don't do the first one.
You want to do the?
Don't do
No.
the first
Yeah,
one.
that's what I'm saying. It's so easy. I
We
don't want
already
to skip it.
spoiled it.
Yeah. Oh man, all the easy ones are so easy.
They're very easy.
All right, I got to do one. Which of the following? They're mostly multiple choice. Which of the following For Honor heroes is not in the Knight faction? Super easy. So be quick. Warden, Lawbringer, Peacekeeper, or Warlord? I saw you first, even though you hesitated. Warlord, correct. So Pascal, if you can kind of keep track for me, this man got an easy, and try to get his name, and we'll get you. We'll get you by the end of it. Don't worry. Okay. You want to do one, Bio?
those are really easy.
Yeah, you
seriously.
can
If
skip
don't
straight to
know
medium
them-
if you want.
This is not an easy one, is it?
No.
No. You want me to do a hard one?
Yeah, you can start. Oh,
All right.
actually, it's easy.
It's
I think.
easy? Oh, okay. This one is hard. So, oh no, okay. So how many strongholds are there in the faction war map?
What is a stronghold?
Yeah, that's
the
right.
question.
It's just the wording. It's the capitals. Yep. Yeah, of course. It's so easy. Like knowing the words is the hardest part of that question.
Where was that? What number was it? What question number?
9.
Number 9. All right. Great. Roman, give us another one.
So, hard one. Which of the following combos is an unblockable one? Raider's Fury, Warden's Wrath, it's Hiss and Bite, Twisting Blades. Got it.
Got
Boom.
it. Yeah.
Boom. Okay.
This is hard. I don't know the names of the combos.
Me neither. Vas-y, Damien.
Damien.
I like this one. It's a medium one. What is the name of the active volcano in Ashfeld?
Ooh.
The famous volcano everybody is fighting for in the faction war.
Nobody
knows. I
knows.
didn't know the answer.
I don't know if the community even knows.
Wait, let's see.
Does the chat know?
The name of
Does
the
the
active
chat
volcano in
know?
Ashfeld. Do you want to give the options? Do you want to give the multiple choices here?
Okay, so there is Mount Rust, Ignis, Volcanus, or Ashfeld. Volcanus is a bit weird.
Nope,
Nope.
it's
Nope.
not Ashfeld.
Not
It's
Ashfeld.
not Ashfeld. So we'll take back one of your comebacks back. I'm kidding.
Sorry? Yes.
Yeah, yeah, it's a sickness.
Actually, it was a hard one, not a medium one.
It's very hard.
Medium.
Yeah, but nobody knows the name of the volcano, but everybody cares about him, though.
All right, back to me. I want to do a hard one. And let's go. Okay. Where was Apollyon born? Chat, do you know where Apollyon was born? Okay, I'll give you the options here. I just wanted to see if anyone knew it without giving you the choices. Okay. Scrublands, Ashfeld, the West, or Valkenheim? Not the West. Oh, I see it here on the chat. Abal. Abal, Ashfeld is correct. So let me write that one down, and I'll try to get your information, sir. Abal on chat. Thank you for joining us, by the way, if you are at home watching. It's nice to see that even on a Monday, people tune into this show. Okay, Bio, hit us with another one.
So how long is a round in the faction war? Yeah. A round. Good job. Hey, you're pretty good. It is 2 weeks, and whenever the faction wins the most round, wins the season, as we all know, and you get the awesome rewards at the end.
I think what you really mean is that we know ahead of time because we rigged the faction war.
Oh, that's right. So yeah, so everybody knows that the Knights are gonna win the next season, and yeah, now you can stop playing.
Yeah.
Basically, you just don't
Just
have to.
check in now,
Yeah,
get your
because
rewards at the end of the season.
Yeah, it's so fun to rig that thing up and just to program everything so it works, and then afterward do nothing and just screw that up. It's great.
Apart from Apollyon, which character narrates the observes in story mode? Are you, Holden Cross, the Raider, or Mercy? Yes. No.
Ooh, not Holden Cross.
Is it Dobeni?
No.
The bunny only cries. This is the only thing he does.
In the chat?
Could you?
Yeah. No? No. So you're left with Ayu or Mercy?
Oh, we got an answer in the chat from Lil Henry. Mercy. Mercy is correct.
That's her. That's her.
Lil Henry, shout out. I saw your name say it first. Oh no, I'm sorry. Man of Dreads beat Lil Henry just by one message. So Man of Dreads actually got that one. Sorry guys. Well done.
So I will do a medium one, and I like this one. Which was the first foreigner hero we've created? The Orochi, the Warden, the Kensei, or the Raider?
How can they know that?
I think we said it in an interview. Yes.
It
Good
was.
answer.
Warden, you
Yeah.
got it? Yep, correct.
And second one was the Orochi, right?
Yep.
Yep.
And
It was called the assassin back then, or
Was
the
it
katana. The oni also, yeah.
Was it always called the warden, though?
It was the longsword for a long time.
Longsword guy.
Yeah.
The longsword guy?
We used to call the characters by the names of their weapons. And
Fair.
that's what's still in the data in the engine. They're still called by the names of their weapons.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. If you go see the Orochi, it's called the katana male, female.
So I guess there goes the chance that we'll ever be able to switch up weapons between characters.
Yeah. There's more into it than the names that makes it
Oh, okay.
impossible. But
Okay. It's true. It's true.
they could. They
Katana
could.
2. Great, it's coming back to me. I like the hard ones, so I'm going to do another one. Which of the heroes is not playable in story mode? Peacekeeper, Warlord, Conqueror, or Orochi? Boom, Mistress got it. Shout out to Mistress, by the way, one of our streamers, a host oftentimes at the New York City Mixer for Honor competitions. So shout out to you. Well done. It was Conqueror, in case you didn't hear. Great. Bio, take it.
So what's the faction that can equip tattoos? Yep. Yeah, yeah. Do you like the tattoos or do you prefer the symbols? You like it? Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, which of the following names is not the name of an Orochi execution? Clean kill, kneel for me, excessive force, or disarmor? I lose the question. No.
No,
We
no.
haven't called on that guy yet.
Yes.
Boom. Disarmor. Damien.
it's in the hard ones, but for me it doesn't seem hard at all.
Okay.
So it's an easy win. Which of the following actions does not feel your revenge matter? Parrying, blocking, landing a hit, or being hit? Yes.
Yeah.
Correct. Landing a hit was the answer. We should repeat it so the
Yeah.
people in the stream can hear, but these guys all know. Stream is full of hardcore dudes. Cool, okay. Let me find a good hard one. Oh man. How many knights are in the leadership circle of the Blackstone Legion? Or region.
That one is so hard.
Yeah.
It's really impossible.
How many knights are in the leadership circle of the Blackstone Legion? Yeah. Yeah.
Don't worry, I didn't know it either.
Let's see if we. Let's see.
They're just saying random numbers
They're
now.
saying
It's-
every number, every
1,
number
2, 3, 4,
possible
5,
in the
6, 7,
chat,
8.
basically. Oh God, this is a nightmare. Dashu, Dashu, the man, is the winner. It's 7. 7 is the correct number. Shout out to Dashu, who organizes all the tournaments for Glory and is helping with the, or helped now, it's Monday, with the For Honor subreddit tournaments that happened this weekend. Did anyone hear? Oh no, you were at PAX, so you didn't get a chance to play in that. But if you're online and you're watching and you got to play in that, give a shout out to Dashu. He and the Reddit guys did a lot of work to make that happen. Cool.
I think that was the last questions, right?
If you want it to be.
I'm looking at what's next and the time
And
we
they're
have
really
left.
easy, the other ones.
We didn't do this one. I wouldn't know this one. Number 5? All right.
Okay.
This is going to involve me butchering a bunch of samurai names, so you can laugh at me. Which of the following characters is not a daimyo of the samurai faction? Ayu, Seijuro, Momiji, or Hideyoshi? No. You. Momiji, correct. All right. Yeah, I didn't know that one. Cool. Okay, Damien wants us to move on. You've got to do what the game director does, unless you're Roman. Roman doesn't have to do what Damien does. Okay, so that was a good time. Thank you for indulging us in quizzing you on our own game. But now I thought, and this you can't look on my screen, because I thought I would quiz
Roman is
my
leaving.
coworkers.
Roman is pissed. He's
Where are you
leaving.
going? We're not ready for that yet. No.
No!
We got a whole show to go.
Didn't you read your 8 pages of one of the show?
Okay, so I'm going to quiz these folks on some questions.
No, we don't do that.
No, well-
Yeah.
We said we didn't do this one.
Oh, you maybe thought so. So we had our writer, Ari, give me some. So Ari is the person responsible for the bot names that are very memey, the names of moves, emotes, that
But names are coming from the team.
Yeah, they are. The name of the team members a bit changed. Yeah, I have one. It's mine. My handle name is Biogenes, and my bot is Biogenes. I never wore jeans in like 10 years, so it's like the worst joke
So
on my name.
each member of the team could ask for one name for one of the bots.
Yeah, you could
Yes.
apply to have a bot.
But
named
we
by
don't
you.
have a co-worker called cracking open a cold one.
No, but they were saying whatever they wanted.
Well, she's been adding even more. So that this is one of Ari's jobs, I know. So she gave us a list of questions to ask you of work that she has done, which hopefully viewers will appreciate because she lives on the
Actually, I
internet.
can see your screen.
Ah, damn it!
Oh yeah, we see all the answers here.
That's not cool. Not cool at all. All right, let me make the font really small. So you can't
No, it's fine. We won't cheat. We won't cheat.
Good.
Yeah,
It's
but-
small-ish.
I can't
Just
see.
don't look. Just don't
Let's
look.
not look.
I can't
All right.
It's rigged.
Bio,
All right.
which of the following is not a bot name? Is not a bot name in For Honor?
I don't know all the bot names. It's gonna.
Cracking Cold Ones, which, sorry, I just gave that one away. Shield Made in. Pants Are Great. Or Angry Face Mug.
I have never encountered angry face mug or pens are great, so I will say pens are great because they're not.
You're correct. Pants Are Great is not currently a bot name. Maybe next week it will be.
It's because Ari and I relate with our love of skirts.
Okay, Roman, our writer Ari, named a bot after her mother. Which bot is it? Pizza Hands. Y Rammer. Spear Queen. Or Ham Batterer.
Why Rammer?
Y Rammer is correct. You cheated, didn't you? God damn it.
I kind of hope it was
So angry.
pizza hands.
Someone turn that TV off.
The creative director is always right.
If you can find the off button on that, I will give you
No.
steel. Yes, perfect. Thank you so much. Yeah, you got no safety net now. All right. Damien, which of the following is not an emote in For Honor? The flesh is weak, walking the dog, I'm just that good, or baby fall down.
Oh, a baby fall down.
Okay,
I
you're
don't
right.
see that one being
So far, so good.
validated.
That wouldn't get approved?
No, I'm not sure.
All right.
I think it would go through legal department
Sure.
and be fine.
All right, back to Bio. Which of the following emote names was our writer sure would get rejected? Which of the following emote names she was sure would get rejected? Okay. Mall Ninja, Kicking Your Can, Glorious exclamation point, or Feels Good Man.
Mall ninja?
Mall Ninja is correct.
Okay, okay.
Wow, you guys are pretty good. Too easy. Pretty good. Too easy? All right. Roman, which of the following is not an execution in For Honor? Pinch hitter, traditional Viking salute, Stabby McStabberton, or shield bash uppercut?
Stabbing the third one.
I need to hear you say it to give you the full
Stabbing
credit.
till Stabberton.
Close enough. Yeah. Okay, maybe
Great
these are
job.
kind of easy. Come on, Ari. All right, Damien, which of these execution names are not homages to wrestling? Which are,
Oh là là.
which are not?
Thank you. I love
Are you a
wrestling.
big wrestling fan,
No,
Damien?
never watched it.
Never?
No, ever. I'm French.
Yeah, no.
That doesn't exist in
You
France.
are French? I never
Right.
realized
What is
that.
wrestling? What? Where?
He's a French samurai, is what he is.
C'est la lutte,
C'est la lutte.
le
Okay.
catch.
Which of these is not an homage to wrestling? Attitude Adjuster, Disarmor, The Viking's Elbow, or Burst Your Bubble?
The last one?
Is this
No.
your final answer?
No, it's not.
I would
You
say
need to say it.
disarmor.
Maybe the Viking elbow.
No, that sounds
don't
so,
know.
so
Do
wrestling.
you have Vikings in wrestling? Yeah.
Any wrestling fans in the audience?
Probably. There's probably a Viking in wrestling. That's a
Yeah.
I guess.
What do you guys think? Correct. Burst your bubble, which
See?
was the last one,
You
and
had
I
it.
psyched you out of it. All right, back to Bio. Our writer has a framed picture. She really just made these all about herself. I love it. I walked to her desk and I said, "Can you give me some ridiculous trivia?" And this is her way of paying me back because it's all about her. Ari has a framed picture of herself and a wrestler on her desk. Which wrestler is she posing with? Cesaro, Sasha Banks, Xavier Woods, or Seth Rollins?
I don't know any of those people. Seth?
Cesaro.
Oh, no.
She's a huge Cesaro fan.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Now we learned something.
I have played.
So I learned about something about Aaron.
I have played Rock Band with the other three people in this question. Sasha Banks, Xavier Woods, and Seth Rollins. They all played Rock Band with me in Boston. It was amazing.
So you don't like Cesaro then?
Yeah, because he
Cesaro
doesn't
was not
play-
hanging out. It was weird.
This is
He's
sad.
not-
At that same, so we were backstage at Raw, which was amazing if you're a wrestling fan. I never got to do that. We played Rock Band. I went to the bathroom, and they just got out of their creative meeting, and I peed in a urinal next to Triple H, which was the most intimidating pee of my life. He's in his suit, but he's still just a massive, massive man, much bigger than Roman. And it was super intimidating, and it was clearly not a good meeting, too, because he was pissed off. There were some other people in there, too, like Michael P.S. Hayes, if you know who that is. It was super weird. One of the best days of my life. Okay, Roman. The Centurion's armor. This is a good one for you, because you love the Centurion. The Centurion's armor all have something in common. What is it? They're all named after Roman provinces. They're all made up of words. Oh no, they're all made up words. I was gonna say, she's really fucking with me now. They're all made up words. They are all armor. What? They're all named after dogs that our writer has met.
They are all named after dogs the writer has made.
Roman provinces, apparently. Good job. We finally stumped you.
So she's quite professional in the end.
In the end, she's actually a professional writer.
When it matters.
Okay, this one is my personal favorite. Which classic Shrek quote did the writer sneak into story mode? Did you know this? Donkey. That'll do, donkey, that'll do. Donkey, two things, okay? Shut up. Get out of my swamp.
I think it's the last one. Get out of my swamp.
It's get out of my swamp.
I wouldn't be surprised to hear the Raider say something about Donkey, though. It's this kind of thing.
Very proud to work on a game with references to Shrek in it. Okay, final question. Which beloved video game meme did the writer put into story mode, much to the disappointment of the dev team? The cake is a lie, arrow to the knee, all your base are belong to us, or year of Luigi?
Arrow to the knee.
Ouais.
I know.
Arrow to the knee, yes, because you were disappointed. Were you one of the disappointed devs? And it's like, come on. That's right, arrow to the knee. So thank you. That was fun for me to be able to read these ridiculous questions. Now, actually, before we get to the surprise, still, we thought we would do Q&A first.
Yeah, as usual.
So if anyone in the room has questions, there are microphones. There's no pressure. You don't have to ask stumpers. You can ask anything. You can ask about them, about me, whatever you like. I don't know if I can get the chat. There's a bit of a delay, but I'll see if I can get any good questions from the chat. And otherwise, we'll move on to the surprise if we don't get any questions.
Does the chat have some questions? maybe?
Yeah, but
we'll see.
they are a bit late. There's delay.
I see one person heading to the microphone.
So, this is working. Okay. So, Damien, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but the chat in the Discord did want me to ask you about this. They want to
Cool.
know if you have any plans for a Kensei buff.
We do.
Kensei
We-
buff is
we-
the question if you didn't hear.
And Roman can answer that as well, but the team is currently working on the Kensei. We
So
can't tell you
yeah,
more.
Like
but
we said, yeah, a little bit. Like we said last week, it's currently we're working on the Kensei, but the changes. So we did already a lot of paths of balancing in terms of numbers and speed and branching on the Kensei, and that was clearly not enough. It needs a little bit more work, an actual not really a revamp, but new moves, new ability. And that require like new animations and new stuff. So that's what we're currently doing on the Kensei. So that's why it's going to take a little bit more time.
And I'm super happy.
So
Yes.
no update on it. It's going to take a little bit time.
Cool.
Hey, I wanted to hear your guys' thoughts on where For Honor is in like the greater scheme of games. So I wanted to ask, how does it feel to be just another amazing game in one of the greatest years of like releases in 1 year?
2017 has been a
Yeah,
very
it's a
good year
rough
for
year.
games.
It's a rough year
Yeah,
to be
it was a
good.
crazy year. Well, personally, I'm super happy because we have a extremely dedicated community. It's insane to see how people care about the game. In the field that I'm working on specifically, people getting engaged in the faction war the way they do and caring about their factions, even more than we thought. We didn't think people would care as much about the Viking, the Knights and the Samurais. I do care a fucking ton about it, so I was very happy to see people care as well. So this is great, and we feel a lot of love and also tough love sometimes. We have to be fair about that. But it's great because it means people care. If you don't care about a game, you don't talk about the game. So I prefer people getting involved in it and engaging with us, and that's why we try to do the Warriors Den and talk with you and answer to you, and so you know who works on the team and works on what, because we want to be close to you, because that's why we actually make the game. So that's how I feel.
It's a great answer.
And yeah, it's a good answer, and it means also that we can play amazing games on top of ours this year. Which
Oh,
is
it
pretty
was
cool.
a crazy
So, yeah.
year, yeah.
Yeah.
Such a backlog.
Cool. Let's go over here.
So, it's one of the most exciting parts of the game.
Sorry, can you just speak up on the chat? They can't hear your questions so
Oh,
well.
okay. Is that better?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. So, Faction War is my favorite part of the game. Now, are there going to be any changes coming to Faction War? Any new ideas? Anything new?
It's almost as if we prepared something on
Yeah,
that.
yes, thank you. So no, I'm doing nothing for the next year. I'm kidding, sorry. I just have a bad sense of humor. Yes, we introduced a war banner last season as a first step, so what's coming up. And basically, we are working very hard in changing the way the faction war is displayed so people can have more information to do more tactical choices. So our new focus that's going to come in the next month is give you tools so your decisions can be more meaningful, and also in the longer term give you more incentive to engage in the faction war, so things that will affect you directly as a player and your faction as well. But the first step is to make it clearer, so all the informations are actually better when you play, and it's not as cryptic as it can be right now, changing the terms and changing how we display it. We're also going to change the rules a little bit very soon, and I hope people are going to like it. We're running simulations right now, so all those rules and new formulas, because there's a lot of math underneath the faction war, like the faction balancing and stuff like that. So new rules will be coming, but we're right now in the simulation phase with Mariana and Greta and Alicia, which are our three designers working on the simulations. And the programmers are writing the code for those new rules to arrive very soon. So stay tuned. We're going to have lots of improvement of the faction war in the next seasons.
And prior to release, that was interesting because we didn't really knew what was going to be the reaction and if people would be interested in it or no, etc. And know that we see the level of interest and reaction, interaction on the faction war. It's definitely something that we are investing on.
We learned a lot. It's a pretty unique feature, the faction war, the way it works, the way we rig it, and but it's really unique. So we had to gather a lot of information and see how the player behaves. So every season we gather all that data and we see and try to adapt the faction war to what we discover, because we, as Roman said, we really didn't know how people will engage with that new feature. So we're very happy with how people do engage with it. So we want to make it better so you actually can have a more meaningful impact.
And to add on what Bio just said, no, I think it's important because it was one of the biggest feedback we received on the faction war is that the last turns are more valuable than the first one in each season and in each round as well. So it's one of the things we want to fix.
Before you go, is this the world famous setback?
Yeah.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how big a troll was that question?
And no, completely earnest, 100% earnest.
Because everyone in the chat is like, "You're the man, you trolled him." So It's nice to meet you in person finally. I enjoy your work online.
Oh, thank you very much.
Great. Hey, I'm reading your chats. Be nice. You, whichever camera's on me, I don't know. Okay.
I was wondering if the new Viking village map will ever make its way to Dominion mode.
That's a great question.
So, no.
Wait, I want to repeat the question in case people didn't hear it.
So the question was, does Viking Village gonna be playable in Dominion mode? And the answer is unfortunately no, but it might be playable in other modes at some point in the future.
Such a tease.
Hey, how many people on the team like professionally fight? Like whether it be like martial arts, fencing, kendo, Renaissance reenactment, LARPing.
There's a lot.
There's a
good question,
lot.
yeah.
There's a lot. We have one of the programmers on the game mode, Aurélie. She's a LARPer and she does lots of medieval blade combat. She's one of the baddest girl I've ever seen. She's amazing, and she did some tournament recently. So we have also a lot of people that engage in LARPing and engage in martial arts.
Actually, so like 2 or 3 years ago, we had that team activity one time every week during lunchtime where we would take fencing lessons and stuff like that. So then how many people exactly, I don't know, but there's definitely a lot of people involved in those activities in the team, yes.
And every day, every week, there's a lot of people engaged with Game of Thrones spoilers. Like, if you spoil anything, I will personally kill you with this sword. It's really, really annoying. So people care about medieval fantasy and weapons. We don't all do it. I don't, but I'm still a huge nerd. So you have to like it if you work on For Honor, that's for sure.
And in the middle, there is multiple open space in the team, but in the middle of one of the open space, close to our desk, there is a big weapon rack with a lot of swords and stuff.
You often see people wielding wooden swords on the floor. It's pretty funny.
That you can bring in a meeting if you want to make your point.
Yeah, but to have a lot of those props, and because at the beginning we were using them a lot in conception and for to prepare motion capture and this kind of stuff, and they just sit there in the middle of the open space.
Roman, do you currently do martial arts?
No, not at the moment.
No, too busy with kids and
No,
running a
I have
game?
knee and back issues.
Oh, because I kicked you in the back because I'm
Yeah,
so good at
definitely.
martial
Yes,
arts.
last time you sparred.
One time in college, a guy who knew Kung Fu tried to teach me Kung Fu. That is my extensive background in martial arts. Didn't go very well. Cool, and that is okay, but
Last one.
we don't have a lot of, okay, hit it.
I just want to know about ranked mode on consoles. Is that getting close?
Ranked mode on consoles, sir.
It's out
It's
since
out
last
as
week.
of last week. We just released it on Thursday. So it's on consoles,
Good
it's
thing
on
I've been
PC,
traveling, huh?
in dual mode specifically. So when you get home, you can play it. It's your PAX surprise. So speaking of PAX surprises, let me go to the computer, and he's going to put this up, and you're going to see your own chats, because I like to make you guys read your own garbage. All right, so we do have a surprise. It's a very quick surprise, but this is a very short glimpse at something that's coming up that we're all excited about, and we're not going to say anything about it because we can't, because Luke back in Montreal would fire all of us if we do, but we do. He did want us to show this, so let's show it. I told you it was quick. I'll play it one more time. I'll play it one more
so
time.
short.
The shortest tease ever. So they're oh, that's the wrong date. That's August 14th, but September 14th, you'll get more information on what the hell that is.
Mystery.
That's next week's Warriors Den, next Thursday. We're not doing one this Thursday. We're doing a community workshop this week. So actually, I'll probably replay this show for people that have not watched it today. So just note that now in the chat. There will not be a brand new show Thursday. If there's any news between now and Thursday, I'll tell you on that Thursday show. But don't expect a full new show on Thursday. But next week, we'll get into what that's all about. But we're not ready to go yet. We have another thing that we wanted to share specifically with our PAX crowd. This is a very PAX-y type thing to do, and everyone on our team was A-okay for us to do it. And if Luke was here, he would present it because this is something from the vault. You know, Luke often shows old marketing videos or old gameplay of the game. And in fact, what we have this week, this PAX, our first PAX, is an old build of the game from 2013. It's a 2013 build, which we are going to let you folks play, and you folks in the chat to watch. Roman, do you want to give us a quick overview of this build as Pascal and I get it set up?
Yes, it's a really old prototype of the game. It's the characters are stickmen, but it's really the foundation of what was the game and what is the game currently. So you're gonna see you can lock on your opponent. There's only one character, the guy with the long sword. There are some really big difference with the game you're playing today. First, it's much less reactive and it's much slower, but you have 4 stances instead of 3. Light and heavy attacks are on the same button. You can lock on minion and it's already in terms of camera. But it was good enough so that we got a green light with it. And it's playable on split screen.
And you have 4 guards.
Yeah, they're 4 stances. Yeah.
It's amazing.
It was actually how, when you did a tournament internally with that build, this is how I fell in love with For Honor, and I was in Assassin's Creed at that time, and I played it on a little tournament, and I was just, holy shit, I need to be on that game. The gameplay is so unique and fun.
Because at the time, we didn't add any network layer going on in the engine, so it was only split screen. So it was 8-player split screens.
You need a high resolution.
So shiny.
But it's the foundation of the Dominion mode.
So yes, let me see what's on the chat. Yeah, good. We're going full screen on the chat. So yeah, check out this gorgeous Nintendo 64 game.
And Ubisoft approved that.
Focus on your stances.
So I spent, if you saw pictures of me on Twitter with tons of controllers on my desk, I spent all week trying to get 8-player split screen working.
And so to attack, it's the right trigger, and if you just tap the right trigger, it's gonna do a light attack, and if you hold the right trigger, it's gonna do a heavy attack. Also, if you notice, there is no, the stance widget is slightly different. It's at the feet of your opponent. So
I think it's the best UI ever. That stance widget is so clear.
There's no attacking out of lock.
Nope.
That's one solution to unlocks.
There's dodges and guard breaks, right?
yes, you can dodge. You can capture there is capture point. That's not just the lane. You have a capture point on the right and on the left. And the minions are deadly.
If you see the white beams of light on both sides of the lane, of the front, you can actually capture those zones as well.
So what I think, so for me when they showed me this, I was like, oh, this is awesome. But what was surprising is how much of this very, very old prototype it ended up in the final product.
And so what's funny, like for example, you have the parry feedback, which is the blue zone in the direction during the attack, is the feedback of when you need to input.
Yeah, try to do a parry if you can. Don't run away from him.
Way too easy.
Come back. Yeah, so the parrying is almost like a little mini game in this. If you can get it to. Oh, and he killed you. And if someone wants to zoom their camera around to the face of the longsword man, yeah, red eyes, beautiful red demon eyes.
And there's emotes also, I think.
Are there?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it the same thing?
Final product, you can see it's just perfect. Not placeholder at all.
Oh my
We already knew emotes.
He's
would
doing
become
Gangnam
something
Style, which tells you exactly the year that this was made.
I'm not sure they were interruptible at that time. I don't remember.
Oh my gosh.
I like the minions sound.
What, so for me, Roman, the biggest difference here between the final product is it's 4 directions instead of 3 directions in the stance. So at what point in development did you make that switch?
It's because playtest after playtest, we were looking at what stances, what direction were used by the players. And not only nobody almost was using the down stance, like it was like 2 or 3% of the overall attack were coming from the down stance, so the fourth direction on the bottom. But also there was people were not even, in terms of mental concept of the game, people were not even able to conceptualize it. It was getting out of their mind. Like we were asking we were doing interviews after the playtest, asking them about the system, what they understood, what they did not understood, and most of the players did not figure that there was a balance, etc. So eventually, we got rid of it.
Was it a big discussion? Like, were there people on the team that really believed in it being 4 versus 3? Or?
No, the big discussion was whether going to 3 stances or 2 stances. Or that was more around the discussion than actually removing the 4th stance.
Cool. And if anyone else has any additional questions while these folks are playing, we have just a few minutes left, so feel free to ask. And if not, we can enjoy the beautiful polygons and Gangnam Style that's happening. It'd be great if someone can try to do the whole parry thing, because I think that's like super interesting and very different.
It's very hard to do.
It is very hard to do as well.
Because you also have to match the stance, and it's not easy.
Right. In the got really loud all of a sudden.
Defending is very hard in that earlier version of the game.
Less of a defensive meta is what you're saying.
Well, you're way less reactive.
Yeah.
So you're better jumping around.
And the soldiers way more deadly too. This guy's about to die up in the upper right-hand corner.
And they have senses also, so their soldiers were much more complicated.
Yeah,
in that
You need to lock them.
Yeah, you need to lock them. I remember we made the decision of not locking on the soldiers. It helped so much. It was one of the big breakthrough when we changed that concept of locking on the soldiers and them having stances. Professional voice actors have been hired.
So yeah, in that build, how parrying was working is when you were successfully parrying an opponent, your sword was becoming blue. Actually, we were calling it the blue attack, and so it was an unblockable and high damage attack that you had to parry in order to block. You could not dodge it, you could not do anything. If the guy had the blue attack, you had to parry it, and so you had that back and forth. And so you parry me, I parry you, etc. Switching states, trying to bait you in a different stance.
Here's an interesting question, as we do have a couple minutes left. 1 minute. Okay. Panda Sama asks, how did the team come up with the idea to make Romans part of the Knight faction? I know it's like a thing I see a lot of, like, why isn't its own faction?
It's something that we haven't expanded a lot at the moment, but basically in the backstory of the world of For Honor, the Roman Empire did not disappear completely, and the Knight Legions are actually an evolution of the Roman Empire. And somewhere deep in the south, there are still some real Romans, and that's why they are not necessarily like part of the same faction in itself, but they are allies. So that's why the Romans are part of the Knight faction on the metagame level.
And there are some plans in the future to do more with the narrative, you know, to kind of tell more of that story, expand more of the world, do more world building. I think people will find that interesting. So we are out of time. Thank you so much to everybody who's watching at home. I really didn't know on a Monday on a different channel than we're usually on. If they come, they did. And thank you to everyone who came here again on a Monday. I know PAX on a Monday, sometimes you just want to sleep. So thank you so much for coming. And we're going to hang out after if you want to come chat with us. Thank you for your questions. Thanks for playing the game, for supporting the community, and everything you do. And your feedback is always super welcome, and we need it to make the game better and better and better and better. So thank you, and thank you to our panelists.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, everybody.